morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Happy October 11th. Welcome to Coffee Chats. I just want to quickly remind you to always be aware of the weather. We are going, of course, through that transition, moving into winter. It fluctuates quite a bit. If you sign up for excursions, sign up for events, etc., make sure that you're aware of the weather, you're dressing appropriately, you have the right shoes on, and you have read the description of the excursion so that you're prepared. There is one that is coming up next week at the Rock, let's see here. No, we already did the Sculpture Garden. This one is at the Sky Rock Farm. It's actually on the 27th, pardon me. So that one is outdoors. Some of it is outdoors, but most of it, half of it, I spoke with the person that runs it, the tour guide. He said most of it is indoors, heated, seated. So don't be intimidated because you might think it's all outdoors and lots of walking. So there is still space for that. Go ahead and take a peek at the description of that if you'd like to join on the 27th for the Sky Rock Farm tour. Let's see, also, make sure you are constantly checking 991 for any changes, if there happens to be cancellations, etc. Make sure you're aware. That will let you know pretty much daily if there is a change in the schedule, etc. If there's something going on that's special, that should let you know as well. And then we'll just move on to the rest of today, the rest of the week. So today at 10 a.m. in Marion Hall, we have our lecture speaker, Raman Dorsho. So she is the executive director of the Jewish Historical Society of the Upper Midwest. So hopefully if you have nothing on your schedule, come up and enjoy her expertise today speaking with us today. She'll be showing a video and then also just opening up for discussion and giving her knowledge to us. So there's more of a write-up on that in the newsletter if you want more information, but please come up and join us for that. In addition, today and on Tuesday at 1 p.m., we have our writing group. And then I'll just move on to tomorrow. So Wednesday, the 12th, of course we have our TED Talks, always at 1 o'clock. So the first one is, would you pass the wallet test? It's a TED education. The rise and fall of the medieval Islamic empire. And then the third one is humanity smart enough to survive itself? So three interesting, kind of diverse topics there for TED Talks tomorrow. In addition, tomorrow we have, of course, the 1 o'clock cribbage and 1 p.m. open art studio. And we'll just move on to 1:30 to 3 p.m. If you have nothing in your schedule, come down to the atrium on Wednesdays. We have our Oktoberfest. So we'll have a little polka band here. It's a two-man show, polka band. Then we'll have some good old pretzels and root beer and beer, whatever you'd prefer. So come have a snack and enjoy a little polka and a little snack. And that's at 1:30 to 3 Wednesday here. So you can kind of float in and float out and enjoy. Let's see, also at 7 p.m. We have bingo, and we have 7 p.m. 500, of course, on Wednesdays as well. Thursday the 13th is our excursion to Once Upon a Mattress. It is full, and that departs at 10:25. And there is also lunch reservations at 11, and then it will move on to the Once Upon a Mattress at the Old Log Theater. So the doors open at 12:30, so make sure you're conscious when you're at Maynard's that you're kind of aware of the times and you have checked in with the van driver. He'll let you know what time you need to leave in order to depart the Maynard's restaurant to get to the Old Log. They're pretty close in distance. I have spoken to quite a few people. They have called the Old Log Theater, and there's still tickets, and they are going with groups of people, going to Maynard's, having lunch, and then joining the rest of the group at the Old Log. So If that's something that you want to do, you can coordinate that on yourself. By all means, give them a call, make sure there's tickets. Might be a fun thing to do. Let's see here. So, in note of that, if the excursions are full, and this month was a little peculiar in that we had to do some lottery system, so make sure you are aware that you're checking the list. If you signed up, it may not mean that you're going. There's a final list for Cecil's, and there's a final list for the Old Mattress Theater, Old Mattress, and at the Log Theater. Little out of order there. And so make sure you're looking at the list, please, so that you're not going down to get on the van and you, oh my goodness, I'm not on the list. So please be aware of that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see here. We'll just move also on to Friday. So Friday, the 14th, we have 1 p.m. coffee chats, and 1 p.m. bridge, 1 p.m. poker, 4 p.m. happy hour, and of course a 7 o'clock movie, which is Nothing in Common. And this is at Marion Hall, the movie. Successful corporate executive Tom Hanks is suddenly thrown into the role of caregiver referee for his parents. And this is starring Jackie Gleason. So, but that's a funny one. Yes, ma'am. Thursday, sing-along, I have a little list at the end, but yeah, the sing-along for Thursdays will be canceled going forward until the right time, and it may be picked up again, but going forward, Thursday, 6:30, sing-along will be canceled if you had been attending that. Thanks, Ann. All right, Bernie, yes?
He said, let's see, Friday, the coffee chat?
So Friday, there is coffee chats, yes, at 1 p.m., and that's on 991.
I didn't know it was it used to be at 2 o'clock, or was it what?
That I can't tell you, but it's at 1 o'clock now.
Coffee chats at 1 o'clock, and then the happy hour.
Well, the happy hour is at 4.
Yeah.
But yep. So 1 o'clock is the coffee chats at 991, and then yes, and then at 4 p.m. it's happy hour.
Marion Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. So I've done the movie. Cecil's, of course. So Saturday the 15th, we have 8 a.m. Van departure for men's breakfast, and then we have the women's ladies luncheon. And so make sure that you are there for departure time for Cecil's. And again, could you look at the list? Make sure you're on the list. Now Cecil's is, I don't know if you've ever been to Cecil's, it's a small delicatessen in St. Paul. It's wonderful. The gentleman I spoke to on the phone said, absolutely, we have room for you. But it's going to be interesting delicatessen luncheon. So you'll have to let me know how it goes, but I'm excited for you to enjoy that. I want to quickly introduce Lorraine Kent again. And so Lorraine Kent and Joyce Murphy will be coordinating the Harvest Fair in November. I believe it's November 10th. So Lorraine's going to come up and just give a nice little shout out for that.
Maybe.
It's a traffic jam.
Oh. Hey, careful for the cord here. Good morning. With a little bit of luck in getting here, holiday gift market is coming, and so I hope that you people who are going to bake and draw and paint and cook up wonderful things are all busy thinking of what you're going to do to contribute. It's November 10th, 1 to 3, and it's new this year in that it's in the main lobby. And that's going to be, I think, exciting. And of course, there also will be goodies available. I hope that you'll be getting a notice at your room today with a little bit of luck. So plan what you're going to do to make a wonderful art creation or a wonderful pecan pie or whatever it is. But it's November 10th, 1 to 3.
I will be contacting, I put a list, thank you, Lorraine. I put a list out for sign up for a book club, for a startup, for a new book club. There's 4 names on there. I will leave it in the binder till the end of the week. Otherwise, I'm going to connect those dots of those 4 individuals to start a book club. If you are interested in a book club, please go ahead and put your name on there so that you can be included in the next book club that will be coordinated. Let's see, I believe that is it. I'll hand it over to you, Jeff. Oh, one more thing. The vision loss support group for this week has been canceled. So just to let you know.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to clear up 2 things. Not a big deal either. We were talking about the Friday coffee chats at 1 o'clock, the time and everything. I just want to make sure everyone knows that's just a replay of what you're watching right now. Okay, so it's not anything new. The second is, Jillian politely said, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, come down for the Oktoberfest. I'm saying put it on your calendar, get your butt down here and have some fun. Okay, it is going to be fun. We went through quite a run of COVID out here. And we all live to battle another day. But tomorrow at Oktoberfest, there will be lots of people. If you're uncomfortable, wear a mask. If you're really uncomfortable, stay away. If you want a pretzel or something, call. We'll get it to you somehow, or maybe a friend can have it brought up, whatever. Just know that you're in charge of your own health. Okay?
We're going to have the doors open as well.
Thank you. We think it's going to be nice enough. We're going to have the doors open. We've got an accordion. What is the band?
It's Polka Variety, and I believe it's like an accordion and drums.
An accordion and drums.
I believe that's the case. So,
what's the definition of perfect pitch?
Heading for the dumpster.
When an accordion lands in the dumpster. What's the difference between an accordion and an onion?
You cry when you cut up an onion, but never when you...
Yeah, nobody, Mike, you gotta shut up a little bit over there. You're stepping on all my touchdown calls. Nobody cries when you cut up an accordion. But, polka, how many love polka music? Yeah, it's hard to beat, isn't it? It just reeks of fun. Okay, I had worked it out with the council that we would have the gate open on weekends. And I did not communicate that well enough, and we had a kind of a snag last weekend, but going forward, I think that will be smooth. I don't know if any of you saw that yesterday we cleaned up some of the trees west of the West Building. We're also taking every other arborvitae out west of the West Building. Those arborvitaes that line the patio, they're so thick, we're not getting, it kind of darkens up the first floor apartments and rooms, so we're gonna create some air and allow the arborvitaes that remain to grow a little bit more.
there's also the dumpsters that will be out this weekend too.
The dumpsters will be out this weekend for the garden waste.
Yes.
And any extra accordions that you have laying around. The air conditioning is still on at Ridgepoint. We called today and they're coming next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, to turn off the air conditioning. Okay? If you have the air conditioning functional and it gets really cold, the repairs would be prohibitive. It would be, you'd have leaks all over. Okay? We don't want that. So, but we also want air conditioning because it's going to be 80 degrees today. And if you believe the weather, and I do, Belle Jensen, not only is she cute, I think she's a good meteorologist. She says we probably won't get up to 80 after today. She's from Wisconsin?
Prescott.
Prescott. She is not my favorite meteorologist if she's from Wisconsin. Speaking of which, I wanted to address one thing on heating that I thought of. Most of the time, the problems with heat are not systemic. They're not that the boiler isn't working. Most of our heat problems are isolated to each apartment. Sometimes a heat problem might be because the apartment window is left open. Other times it might be that the vents on the baseboards are closed. Those are easy fixes. Some of the more difficult fixes are there's a zone valve in your apartment that opens and closes when prompted. When that freezes up, that can be an issue. What I'd ask of you today is going to be 80 degrees. There is absolutely no reason there should be any heat on your pipes. Correct? You put your hand down by the pipes, it should be cool. You should be able to touch that without any problem. If you put your hand down and there's heat there, you've got a problem. And it's a lot better to find a heat problem when it's 80 degrees outside than when it's 20 below. So if you do anything for me, ever, feel your heat today. Today is the 11th?
Yes.
All right. Just give me one moment here. Okay, birthdays this week. We have one today. She's at the round table. Darlene, happy birthday. Darlene Swanson. In 2 days, another person from the same table, Karen Steffens. On the 14th, Bev Gustafson. I didn't see, doesn't she usually sit with you folks over there? She's not here today. Marlene Scherber, happy birthday. Errol Schintz, Mary Lou Randall on the 15th, and Lil Rand on the 17th. Let's sing happy birthday right now, and after we sing happy, does anyone have any, let's sing happy birthday first. We're a little out of order here, so happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear friends, happy birthday to you. Okay, any questions on anything? Norma?
I don't have questions, but I have a couple, I do have a question, but I have a couple comments to make. First of all, if you're going to Cecil's, which is absolutely fabulous, be sure to use a restroom someplace else because it's an absolute mountain to get down to the restroom and harder to get up.
Thank
That
you
is
for letting
the
us know
only
that.
problem at Cecil's.
Cecil's, phenomenal atmosphere and food. The treacherous trek to the bathroom. It's an old building, I take it, and you go way downstairs, and I'm guessing the bathroom is not perfectly clean because that's...
It's the steps, that's the treacherous.
Okay, thank you. Treacherous steps.
Maybe Steve will stop at.
Steep. Yep.
Target or someplace for you to use that.
Good advice. Good advice.
Second of all, my friend Grace from Love of Letters is going to be here on the 18th to collect about 2,000 cards.
Nice.
People have helped make.
The cards that Norma has been working with the group on. Grace from Love of Letters
Yes.
is going to pick up how many cards?
About 2,000.
about 2,000. Good job, Norma.
And also I have a question about the excursions that we take.
Yeah?
Can people that use walkers come on our excursions?
Sure.
Oh, well, I've had 2 people in the last couple days say that they were told that if they use a walker, they cannot come, and I know people that use walkers come. So I think we need to clarify that.
We normally don't take the rollator walkers. You have to bring a...
With wheels?
Huh?
The ones with wheels?
Just the aluminum walkers.
Those are called rollators?
No. The rollators are the wheels and brakes and like
Jockeys. They come,
jackies, yes.
they come.
It's up to the driver. But if we get too many of those rollators, it doesn't work, then that's when we say, okay, walkers only. All right? What are you confused about? Are we clear over there?
Is that a rollator over there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a rollator. That's a rollator. That's a walker.
That's what I got, yeah. What do you have?
Should we stop listening to this round table over here?
Yeah.
Okay, Patty, do you want to come up?
That's a rollator.
All right, it's been a while since we've had a resident share their story a little bit. Patty Eckenrode. One thing I want Patty to do is pronounce her last name. Because my last name is Evenson. If I had a nickel for every time someone called me Evanson, I'd have about $6. Come on, Patty.
Amen.
So I want to make sure we're saying your last name right.
You got it right.
Okay.
I'm not Scandinavian, I'm German. So that makes the difference. I was blessed to be born on Valentine's Day. And that's my shirt for being a February girl. And I've had 2 very special birthdays. 1990, my granddaughter Amanda was born. She's now 32. I'm getting old. And my second one was 28/11, when my 11-year-old great-grandson was blessed to be born on my birthday. Or I was blessed, I guess. I don't know about him. So those were special days. I grew up in Pennsylvania, in York, Pennsylvania, the first capital of the United States. Only if you lived in York, Pennsylvania, would you see a bulletin board, a great big one, along the highway that says York was the first capital. It was because the Congress was running from Philadelphia to York, Pennsylvania, and had their first meeting getting away from the British. So that's why they consider themselves George Washington slept there. My ancestors arrived in York, Pennsylvania in the 1700s from Germany. Another set of grandparents or great-grandparents or great-great-great-great-grandparents ended up in the Shanksville area where the plane went down a few years ago. And so the church there has a commemorative quilt with all the signatures of the families that were in the area, and it was a fundraiser for the church. I was blessed to be able to return that quilt to the church, and they put it in a great big wooden frame at the back of the church so people can go in and see what families grew up in that area. We moved a lot. Don and I married. Our first home was Denver, Colorado. He was in the Air Force. Then he joined General Electric, and we moved all around on the Atlas missile program. We ended up in California at the base out there, and then returned to New York State. He was tired. They were just kind of keeping them around because they knew they'd be doing the moonshots. General Electric had the radar on all these projects. He finally was called back to Florida for that. And there again, they were trying to decide whether they would move the schooling to Oklahoma or Alabama, which was Alabama, and is where they went, during integration. So our son was going to go into the junior high school with the integrated system, which was fine with us, but not with our neighbors. So anyway, Don took another job with Control Data in Maryland, and they closed that plant. We moved out here in the 70s. We were here 11 years, and Control moved us away, and then left us in Colorado again. And we did many other things. Ended up coming to Minnesota again. Our family stayed here, but we, of course, didn't. And but we did return. We're back 17 years, and 17 of those will be here at Ridgepoint in December. So I consider myself one of the older residents. And there's so many of you new folks that I have a hard time getting to know everybody's names again. So in the beginning, people were so friendly here and included us, and now I feel a little anxious that I probably not as outgoing to everybody as I would like to be. Anyway, we've enjoyed Ridgepoint. It's been a safe, wonderful place to be. Donna and I did finally have our round of COVID. We had all of our inoculations, so it was a very mild thing, but then we ended up kind of with sinuses on top of it, so I still sound kind of gravelly. But anyway, I appreciate all of you. And if I could indulge you just for a second to keep my daughter Catherine in your prayers. She's at the oncologist today, trying to decide what her treatment will be. And she was very nervous about having to drive into the city for that appointment. So keep her in your thoughts today if you would for me. Thank you very much.